Hello everyone, Gaza Mutkarsh and I welcome you all to this session on end-to-end data automation project. So guys, let's have a look at the agenda for this session. The agenda for this session includes understanding the project workflow, which we have also discussed in the previous session. Then following the same, we have to create functions for data cleaning. So guys, in the previous session, we have discussed how to create functions and how to utilize the functions for data, let's say synthetic data creation and for data ingestion. So in this session, we shall be focusing upon the data cleaning part. We'll be creating multiple functions for handling data cleaning. Then we'll be documenting the project with the markdown and the output. So guys, let's switch to the Jupyter screen. So guys, so far, let's say we have understood the project workflow, right? We have imported the desired libraries, namely pandas, numpy, matplotlib. Pandas for data cleaning pre-processing, numpy for, let's say, numerical computations, matplotlib and seaborn for the visualization, os for making the, let's say, folder directories, datetime to handle the datetime data, and time delta to handle datetime addition subtraction, random for generating random numbers, faker for generating fake names, fake emails, fake address, maybe fake, let's say, joining date and date of births. Then warnings to avoid any warnings, and JSON, let's say, to provide a lightweight, let's say, metadata and configuration interchange format. And this is how I'm setting up the warnings. So understanding the use case and the workflow, we have, let's say, successfully completed the data generation phase, where we have created three different functions: generate customer data, generate product data, and then generate the transaction data. But we have seen that when we were generating this customer data, product data, and transaction data, we deliberately introduced errors, right? We deliberately injected the errors in the data so that we can come up with the data cleaning part as well. So uh, let's imagine that we have called these functions. All right, we have called the data creation function, the data ingestion function that would end up generating all these data. So now we do have data set for customers, for products, and for transactions as well, but the data contains errors. So the next step over here is to proceed with data cleaning. So what is the purpose? Purpose is to identify and fix the data quality issues in the raw data sets. What are the key functions? So we'll be creating, let's say, three different functions, right? यहाँ पे हम तीन functions बनाएंगे. First function would be to clean the customer data. So this would end up, let's say, what are the key aspects of this function? It would validate email formats. It would standardize the phone numbers. It would fix invalid dates, if at all there are any, and then calculates the ages from the date of births. All right, so this is the purpose of clean customer data. Then the second function that we'll be creating is clean product data. So for clean product data, it corrects negative prices, it fills missing cost, it validates stock quantities, and even calculates profit margins. The third function, clean transaction data, it removes transactions with invalid customer / product IDs, it fixes future transaction date, and it recalculates the total amount. So guys, these are the three functions. So let's see them in action. And once I've called these three functions, then I need to store the updated data or the cleansed data into the output directory, right? So we'll be storing these files in the output directory. So यहाँ पे we'll be saving the files as clean customers.csv, then clean underscore products.csv, and clean underscore transactions.csv. So guys, इन तीन files को हम यहाँ पे save करेंगे. So guys, let's head over to the to these let's say functions. Yeah, so this is the data cleaning functions, right? So let me write these functions. So the first step, let's say, is to, let's say, create a function. And what is the function called? Let's say clean customer data, that takes df as an argument. All right, and let's say, and implement the following functionalities. So this will help you understand. When you're reading this file, this will help you understand कि हमने क्या-क्या changes किए हैं, right? So functionality यहाँ पे हमारे पास क्या-क्या है? This is the objective. These are the different objectives. So this is for the first function, clean customer data, right? This is for clean customer data, the first function. So let's understand the objectives. So parallelly, let's read the function and we'll understand. I'll be writing the objective. So the function is clean customer data. It takes data frame as the argument. The objective is to clean the customer data. So first of all, I'm printing cleaning customer data. So first of all we have to convert dates to date time. See, in customer data हमारे पास dates का data inform available था, right? So if you observe this, in customer data I'm passing the joining date, right, and the birth date as well. So first of all I'll be converting this to date time. How? Like this. So df join date, this is pd.toDate time, df join date, and errors course means I'm, let's say, coursing the errors, removing all the errors in the joining date, right? So let's say handle join date and birth date errors, इसको हमने handle किया. So this is the first part of the functionality. The second part that I'm considering over here is, then we are fixing invalid birth dates. So I have to fix the future birth dates, right? So अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, in the first customer table we have set future birth dates. Future birth date is plus 30 years up to plus 40 years. That is absolutely invalid. So इसको हमें यहाँ पे treat करना होगा. How are we treating this? So I'm handling future birth dates, right? Future birth dates को हम यहाँ पे avoid कर रहे हैं. Let's see how. इसे avoid करने के लिए I've considered the today, आज का date time, and then I'm writing कि if the birth date is greater than today, if the birth date is greater than today, then I'm simply adding not a time. All right, I'm simply adding not a date time or some null value, right? So ये हमने यहाँ पे set कर दिया. Then next I have to clean the email address, right? Clean email address. तो email address हम कैसे clean कर रहे हैं? Let's understand this. Email address clean करने के लिए I'm writing some regex pattern. So this is the regex pattern. All right. See, email address has to start with let's say some word, or it can start with number as well. So A to Z, capital A to Z. So if it is anything not which is not starting from capital A to Z, lowercase, uppercase A to Z, or 0 to 9, or let's say it can also start with an underscore and these characters. So this is how it is going to start. Plus it is coupled with @ all right. Then after @ we have some things, let's say Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook. So this is another word string. This would be a word string, capital A to Z, lowercase A to Z, 0 to 9, maybe dot, maybe hyphen, and then coupled with plus. So there's a dot. After Gmail we have a .com, right? We have a dot, let's say a dot character. So this is the dot character, / dot, and then maybe we have in, we have edu, we have org, we have uk. So we do have the let's say last 2 to 3 characters. So this would again be capital A to Z, lower a to Z, capital A to Z, and this can be at least 2 characters or more. So this is the format into which I want my email to be. So email address में भी जो भी हमारी inconsistency थी, this is going to handle those. So invalid emails would be, so if at all we do have any invalid emails, so I'm fetching all the emails, df email dot string dot match email rejects na is equal to false. All right, ये email pattern जहाँ पे भी match नहीं हुआ, that is what I'm filtering over here. So this is the email rejects pattern, right? So df.log invalid emails, जहाँ पे भी invalid emails हैं, I'm setting them to nan or not a number. So I'm simply filling the let's say invalid emails with nan. This is how we have handled join date, birth date. We have handled let's say invalid birth dates. Then we have cleansed the email. Then we have to clean the phone number. So if the phone number dot string dot replace \d, so if there is any digit, right? If there's any digit, I'm replacing it with let's say empty string with, I'm setting the regex as true. So for all the phones, df phone dot string, if it is less than 7, if the number of characters is less than 7 in the phone character, then I'm filling it with nan or missing value. So हमने email clean किया. All right, then we have cleaned the phone. Then over here we are cleaning phone number. Then we are cleaning the phone number. All right, next अगर हम इसके बाद देखें, after phone number, let's say I'm filling the missing value in the loyalty scores with median. So first of all, I'm computing the loyalty score for median. If the loyalty score is less than, let's say I'm filling the loyalty score with the median score. If at all there are any missing values, then I'm computing the age from the date of birth. So age would be today minus date of birth dot dt dot days. So this would compute the number of days between today's date and the date of birth, and then I'm dividing by 365.25. I'm rounding it off up to let's say I'm simply rounding it off because I want to display the age up to 0 decimal places, and I'm converting this to integer. All right, so let's say clean phone number, then fill loyalty score with median. All right, so fill missing values in loyalty score with the median. And F, what is the next step? Then compute age based on birth date. So guys, ये सारी फंक्शनैलिटी थी जो हमने किसमें इंप्लीमेंट किया है फॉर द क्लीन कस्टमर डेटा. नेक्स्ट जो हमारा फंक्शन है दैट इज, let's say the next function is clean product data. Product में भी we have to do some cleaning. So यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें, so we have to create a function called clean product data that takes df as argument and implement the following functionalities. So even over here we'll be having couple of functionalities. All right, we have to deal with lot of errors, or the let's say जो भी हमने errors inject किए थे उन्हें हमें deal करना है, right? So the second function that we have over here is clean product data. So over here I'm writing the markdown as clean product data, printing clean product data. So if I have any negative price, so we have to fix it, right? So over here the first step is to handle negative price. This is the first step. All right, then how am I handling the negative price? So in the price column, if the price is less than 0, if the price is less than 0 in the price column, then LOC I'm using it for update. So in the price column, if the price is less than 0, so for all those values I'm simply filling with the absolute value of price. So if the price is negative, I'm simply let's say replacing it with its own positive values. Next, I'm computing the missing cost as 50% of the price. So the cost would be df.apply lambda x.price into 50% if the cost is empty. So if the cost is empty, I'm filling it with 50% of the price, else I'm simply filling it with cost along the axis 1. So this is how I'm computing handle missing cost. All right, this is the second function, handle missing cost. Next, the third functionality over here is clean the stock values, right? So to clean the stock values, first of all, I'm converting it to numeric if at all there are errors, because there were some errors to begin with, right? Stock में हमने word introduce किया था, if you remember. In the stock column, we introduced some fake words. So that is what I'm handling over here. We have to convert this to numeric, right? That is what I'm doing over here. And then I'm so there would be some null values, right? There would be some null values. So this introduces let's say missing values. So जहाँ पे भी missing values आएंगी, I'm filling the missing values with 0. Then I have to fill categories with unknown. So if at all there are any categories which are missing, so I'm filling them with unknown. So over here we have handled stock and handle missing categories. So handle stock, let's say column with words, जिसमें भी words थे उसको हमने fill किया with 0. And then over here I'm handling after stock, we have handled category, right? Handle the category. So category के लिए यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया, I'm filling it with unknown. All right, handle missing categories. तो इसको भी हमने handle किया है. And next, so this is the clean product data. All right, next I'm ensuring the rating is lying between 1 to 5. All right, so ensure that the rating is between 1 to 5. Ensure rating lies in a specified range. Then F, what is the next functionality? Next cleaning step. Then I'm creating profit margin, right? So that would be price minus cost upon price, and I'm rounding it up to 2 digits. सो आई एम कंप्यूटिंग द प्रॉफिट मार्जिन. जैसे यहाँ पे हमने एज कंप्यूट किया था. सो दिस इज नॉट द क्लीनिंग पार्ट. लेट्स से फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स द डेटा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एज पर द यूजर रिक्वायरमेंट. कंप्यूट प्रॉफिट मार्जिन. सो इसको हम यहाँ पे कंप्यूट कर रहे हैं. सो गाइस दिस इज द सेकंड फंक्शन, क्लीन प्रोडक्ट डेटा. इसमें हमारे ये ऑब्जेक्टिव्स थे. नेक्स्ट अगर हम इसके बाद देखें, so next we have to move towards clean transaction data. All right, next we have to move towards clean transaction data, and again this takes df as the argument, and we have to implement the following functionalities. So a, b, c, c and d. All right, let's see this. So to apply the clean transaction data, we are considering df, customers df and products df. So it not only takes df, but it also takes customers df and let's say products df as an argument, and let's say as arguments, and implement the following functionalities. तो यहाँ पे हमें कौन कौन सी functionalities add करनी है, let's have a look. So over here we need to add, first of all I'm cleaning the transaction data, so I'm converting the transaction date to date time. All right, then I'm fixing the future dates. So if at all in the transaction date, if we do have any future dates, right, if any date is greater than today, then I'm simply filling it with null values. Then I'm handling the negative quantities. So in the quantity column, if the quantity is less than 0, so I'm simply considering the absolute value of quantity. So handling negative quantity, and then handling the transaction date. So this is where I'm handling the transaction date, then handling negative quantities. All right. So negative quantity हमने handle किया, we have handled the transaction date. Then I have to validate the customer IDs. So and validate the product IDs, right? So next जो दो steps हैं, that is validate customer IDs and validate product IDs. So ये देखते हैं. Let's see this, how to implement this. So अगर हमें ये check करना है, so how are we validating the customer and the product IDs? So first of all, we have to figure out the valid customers. So this is first I'm fetching from the customers table of what are the unique values from the customers column, right? So then I'm checking कि जो DF के customer ID, if this DF customer ID, is it present in the valid customers? Is it present in the valid customers or not? This is what I'm checking, and then this is what I'm replacing the DF with. Then how would I validate the product IDs? So what are my valid products? So products df product id dot unique. This is fetching, this is capturing all the unique product IDs from the product table. Then I'm simply checking df dot product is in. Alright, तो हम original data frame को ही replace कर दे रहे हैं. So this df is nothing but the transactions data frame जो हम यहाँ पे pass करेंगे. So this ensures that we do have all the valid customers. This ensures that we do have all the valid products. Then we are recomputing the total amount. So this is df quantity into df unit price. So यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया है? Next step is recompute total amount. All right. Next step यहाँ पे हमारा क्या है? The next step is to extract the features. So कौन कौन से features हमें extract करने हैं? I'm extracting transaction month and transaction date. This is based on the transaction date. So dt.toPeriod month and dt.day name. So I'm extracting the transaction month and transaction date. Transaction month and day name, right? So guys, ये तीन functionalities थी. So now we have cleansed the customer data, the product data and the transaction data. So next जो है, next what we are left with, next अब इन तीनों function को call करने के लिए we have to create a function clean all data, and it takes customers df, product df, transaction df and configuration, because I have to store this data as well, right? इस data को हमें store भी करना है. So let's say over here I'll be writing Over here I'm creating a function clean transaction data that takes customers df, products df, transaction df config as arguments and implement the following functionalities. Alright, so data cleaning के steps हमने देख लिए. So what are the functionalities that I need to introduce over here? Let's see this. Alright, इसको हम देखते हैं कि what all functionalities do we have. So in this clean all data, right, I'm considering this clean all data function where I'm adding customers df, then products df, transactions df, and the config. So the markdown that I've mentioned over here is clean all data sets and save the file. So we have to save the files to the configuration output directory. Over here I'm writing cleaning all data. So first of all I'm fetching the clean customers जहाँ पे हमने clean customers data function को call किया है and with the argument customers df. Then I'm cleaning the product data where I've called the products df and I'm storing the result in clean products. Then after having called the transactions data where I'm taking the transactions df, clean customers and clean products, I'm let's say passing its result into clean transactions variable. So these are the three, let's say, cleaned tables that we have. Now I need to store these data frames, the cleansed data frames, into the desired output directory mentioned in the configuration. So I'm writing clean customers.tocsv, os.path में हमारा path defined था. So os.path.join. So what are the two variables that I'm joining? The output directory and the file name. So file name is clean customers.csv and I'm setting the index as false. Likewise, I need to save clean products.tocsv. So over here I'm writing os.path.join, configuration output directory, and then clean products.csv, and I'm setting the index as false. Next, I'm using clean transactions.tocsv and I'm saving this in configuration output directory.join clean transactions.csv, setting the index as false. So guys, ये तीन let's say tables हमने create कर लिए. So I have to write let's say call. What do I need to call? I need to call the first function. ये हमें किस पे कॉल करना है? We have to call this on customers data frame. All right, and store result in a, let's say, and store result as clean customer. यहाँ पे हमने लिखा है clean customers. Likewise, this is clean customers. Then same काम हम यहाँ पे भी कर रहे हैं. We have to call clean let's say customer data हो गया, then we have to use clean product data. This is the clean product data and this is, I'll be calling it on the products df and store the result as clean products data. So A and B are done. Then again next हम C पे जाते हैं. So that is the transactions data, right? This is the clean transactions. So यहाँ पे हम लिख सकते हैं call clean transactions data on. अब इसको हम किस पे कॉल कर रहे हैं? So we are calling this on transactions df, clean customers and clean products on these three, and store result as clean transactions. All right, now save these let's say data frames as CSV files in the let's say output directory. इसको हमने यहाँ पे सेव कर दिया. Alright, so this part is done and that's it. And then what is the last step? Once all these files let's say are saved, then I'm simply returning clean customers, clean products and clean transactions. Then return the three data frames, right? Then the last step is to return the three data frames. That's it. Return the clean customer data, return the clean customers, then clean product, all right, and lastly clean transactions. That's it. So guys, यहाँ तक हमने ये functions देख लिए. And let's say once these functions are called, the cleaned data would be stored in the desired output configuration directory. Alright, and output configuration में हमने यहाँ पे क्या mention किया था? What was our output configuration all about? The output configuration would be stored in the output directory. So guys, now we have seen and let's say executed the functions clean transactions, clean product and clean let's say customers. And इन तीनों functions को हमने clean all data में call कर लिया and we are returning the cleansed data as the output data frames. So guys, that brings us to the end of this session. Let's switch to the PPT. So guys, in this let's say session, we have discussed how to create functions for data cleaning, and let's say in the next session, we'll be proceeding towards the data transformation functions and automating the workflow as well. Thank you.